I will explain some Python program basics in this video. So we will see how we can define a variable, how we can assign values for a variable, and then we'll see what is this Python indentation and the importance of that one for Python programming in a script, how there should be spaces in each line of code, and then how we can add comments to our code. And then also I'll discuss how we can add packages, modules to a code, and we can how we'll use those modules with some examples in this video. Let's see how we can create variables in Python programming. So we can easily create variables here. Now there is no exact command to declare a variable in Python programming. So if I say x is equal to 10, as soon as a value is assigned for this variable x, it will be created. Now, once I run this one, now this x variable is created and the value 10 is assigned for that one. So let's print that value. Value 10 is assigned for variable x here. And if you want to specify the data type for a variable, then we can use this casting option. So let's say x is a string. So I'll say str, then 15. Then I'll run this one. Then again, let's print this value x, print x. Then we can get the value out. And also let's see the data type here. So I'll print the data type of this variable x, print type of the variable x. So the class is str. And let's create another variable y is equal to integer 20. So we can again get the print variable y as well as print type of this variable y. So now the class here is int and the value is 20. Likewise, we can specify the data type also when we are assigning a variable and assigning a value for the variable. Let's check another one. Z is equal to float 18 and print Z, print data type of Z. So now variable Z is a floating variable. So 18.0 and the type is float. Likewise, we can easily assign values for variables and we can create variable as soon as we assign a value for this x, the variable x will be created. We can change the type of the variable using this casting. So str, int, float. Likewise, we can specify the data type as well. Then this Python indentation. So when we are writing a Python program, we need to be careful about the spacing from the starting point of the code. Now, in Anaconda programming, with this each line, these variables are now saved. The last value we assigned for x is 15, str 15, and y, int 20, is a floating variable 18. So those values are saved. Now, let's say if y is greater than 10, so I'm specifying as if condition. So after this if condition, the next step, so if this is true, then it will go to this line. So there has to be a certain indentation. So indentation refers to the spaces at the beginning of the code line. Print. Yes. Else. So now with this if, indentation should match for the else. So y is greater than 10, therefore we are getting the output yes. Okay, likewise, this Python indentation means there should be specific spaces at the beginning of the code. Okay, so that is Python indentation. Then we can add comments in Python using this hash symbol. So hash, let's specify what is indentation. Indentation refers to the spaces at the beginning of a code line. Now, when I run this one, nothing will happen because this is a comment. So these comments are very useful when you're documenting your project. And if there is any errors, you can identify easily when you have comments, and you can easily collaborate and share your codes when you do comments in Python codes. Now I have opened a new notebook. So a Python library or a module contains a set of functions. So it can be a predefined module, or you can also define a module by yourself. And normally at the beginning of a code, we import the required modules or the libraries for our code. So we can import, let's import math library, and then we can use that one in our function. So in the math, we have this phi value. So I'll print the phi value is in this math library, math dot phi. Then once I run this code, I can get the value for phi. Likewise, we have built-in modules, and we can call those modules by importing those for our code, and then we can use the functions available in these modules in our project. So there are like few ways to import a module or library. So this is a one way. Then also if we want to use the phi function directly, then I can say import from math module import phi. Now when I import in this way, so we are specifically importing the phi function, then we can recall that function in our code by just saying phi. Okay, that is another way. Also, if there is a module, we can give our own way, our own naming by renaming the module. So I can import numpy module, and it will be renamed as np. So whenever I recall this np, it will call the module numpy. So these each module, math, numpy, log, matplotlib, likewise, all these modules will contain different functions, and we can use those inbuilt functions by importing modules to our project. And if these modules are not installed, I have shown how to install these modules in the last video. So you can refer to that one, how to add these modules using pip. And also if you're using PyCharm environment, you can install modules using the settings window. Likewise, there are different ways to install modules to your Python environment. Now let's try an example of using these libraries, using these modules. So let's plot sine curve, plot sine curve using these available libraries. So let's use NumPy library, NumPy module, and Matplotlib module here. So I will import NumPy as np. Then I will also import matplotlib pyplot as plt. So I'm using this pyplot function from matplotlib library as plt in my code. Then let's create an array of values using NumPy module. So I can recall the module using np dot arrange, and let's obtain 10 values from 0, 10 values with the separation of 1. So I'll print this array, print text. Now we have 0 to 9, 10 values with the separation of 1. And if I want, I can have more fine values. So 0.001 separation, and it will be a large value. Then let's obtain sign values of these using the same module np dot sign. So I'm calling the sign values of the x values. Then if you want, you can print these as well. Try to get the print and see what are the values here. And then I'll plot this value. So now when I call plt, so it will call the matplotlib pyplot. So I'll plot x and y values, and then let's show that function, show that plot. So now we have sign values for the obtained x values. Likewise, we can use the available modules, and we can use the functions from these modules to plot our graphs. So this is plotting a graph is a one application. Likewise, we have many applications like communication and also data science, machine learning. Likewise, we have several modules available. So according to the application, we can call the modules and we can use those functions within the module for our code. So this is a one application. So you should try this one and see what is the output you are getting. Now let's go through another example. In this one, we'll calculate the area of a circle. So we have imported 5 functions from math module, and we have assigned variables here. Variable x is equal to 5, and then variable a is equal to 5 times x squared. So 5r squared. Then we get the output, radius, and the area. So when I run this code, then we can get the area value and also the calculated area value and the radius. So if I want to modify this code to input x values, so I'll write x is equal to a floating point data type and input enter value x. So once we run this code, there will be a option to enter x values, and it will say this, it will state this string enter x values, and then we can, once we input a value, it will be assigned for x. So now I'll run this one. So I enter x value, let's say it is 10. Then this x value is now saved 10. Then if I run this code again, radius is now 10. Then we can calculate the area for that radius. Actually, the radius is calculated. Then we can get the calculated value output by running this code. So try this one. So here we have used the math module, and then we are also inputting values to get a certain output. So in this way, we can change the input variable several times and get the calculated output according to the changed variable. So try this one also.